Hello, hello. Oh, now that you can hear me, I'm coming back up. Hello. That is to prove that a hello can be meaningful. That was my musical hello to you. Anyway, y'all see my goofy little chain? Yes? All right. What would happen if I raise the chain up and then I just drop it through it will fall to the floor, right? Watch. Let me give you another hello. Thank you all for coming. It's so good to see every one of you. I've played in a lot of concerts this year. And churches, nursing homes, concert halls. But this one is without a doubt the most recent. You know what's harder than playing my piece? I wrote a speech. Here we go. My goal of this concert is to demonstrate that this type of music is for everyone. Classical music is not for everyone. Who am I kidding? But this piece just may be for everyone. Why? Because I bet all of you are complicated, yes? Yeah. I bet all of you fell in love at some time. How about a search for purpose? Right? What about a few victories at the end? Yeah? Anybody robotic here? A robot? No? Okay. So anyway, for this piece, right, the hope is that when I'm done, every one of you can say, I understand this music. Now, this is a complicated piece. Yes, it is. But I hope that you can say, I can relate to it. I felt it. Yes, it is true that the more times you hear it, the more you can relate, but maybe even the first time, okay? So after all, the most relational conversations are often complex, yes? Those are the little hellos I just said to you, forgotten in T-minus 2 days, right? There's nothing deep in those pieces. One of them came from a video game, the beautiful one, the one in the middle. Yeah, I spent many hours playing that game. Most complex, most relational conversations surround a complex subject. So if any solutions are to be offered, it is usually simple, like at the end of a complex talk. So what do we do? Okay, do these things. Simple. Otherwise, you can't do them, right? Anyway, hellos and how are yous are indeed simple, but they do not carry any deep meaning. Most replies are, I'm fine, how are you? So because this is a complicated piece, therefore you can relate to it. But to relate to it simply, it must be explained simply, okay? Normally, I don't impose my views. I like to have my audience interpret the way they want. But for this piece, I'm going to make an exception, all right? How many of you have been to a concert where it's one concert, one piece? Raise your hand. Okay, just a few, right? I have also. Anyway, Rachmaninov wrote this piece. He influenced a lot of film makers, a lot of film composers, all right? John Williams, Jerry Goldsmith, James Horner, George Brune. Here comes the names I do not know. Bernard Herrmann, Oliver Wallace, Henry Mancini. Okay, anyway, he wrote an epic piece, 30,000 notes for the pianist alone. And then there comes the orchestra notes. I combined the orchestra notes onto the piano notes, so I added 12,000 more, making a total of 42,000, give or take, because there are tremolos and other things that I do that adds more notes. And it's supposed to be played in 42 minutes. Now, that's 1,000 notes a minute. How many of you think that's too many notes?
Too many notes, Mozart.
Mozart is not too many notes. Okay, so here's the thing. Allow me to dispel that, okay? No. That's it. In 1 second, I played 72 notes. Times 60, that's 4,320 notes. 1,000 is not that much. You see? So when I say I can teach Mozart in the first year, it is through explanations like that. It's just not that hard. right? You no longer believe that 1,000 notes per minute is that impressive. Just like that. Simple solution. All right? All right, so how many of you seen the Disney films Fantasia 1 and 2? More of you, where the music exists first and then the movie tags along. Who came out of that one saying, I didn't understand the music? Nobody, right? So today I thought I'd do something a little fun. We're going to treat this like a movie thing, okay? Since we're doing the whole movie thing. Act 1, movement 1. I'm going to turn movement into acts. Act 1 is about adventure. Oh, I just got through a page. Act 2 is about personal conflict and searching. Act 3 is about celebration. I just did a concert earlier where I cut the second movement out, the searching part, and I just did the back-to-back energetic stuff, and no, it's not right. So anyway, I'm going to show you the themes now. And I'm going to show it to you in a way so you can see just a little bit of how it was supposed to be played by me and then supposed to be played by the orchestra, and then I'll show you how I combine it. Just short little clips. Theme 1. Theme 3. So what you just saw is that I needed both hands to play the orchestra part, whereas the piano part is rather simple, right? Okay, so just for those measures, I'll combine it together. It's all there. All right, so I'm going to tell you the story for movement 1, and then I'm going to need to take a break. But we're not having the usual go to the bathroom thing, nope. I'm going to start talking about movement 2 after I talk about movement 1. Now, don't clap after movement 1, not because you're not supposed to and all these rules invented by the classical society. Anyway, it is because it's not the mood, okay? So allow me to tell you the story. I just made this up, okay? It could be any other story, but a story is simple, like a trailer, okay? So here we go. This is an epic, so maybe the setting could be like in The Lord of the Rings, a lot of trees, aha, I know you like that. And you have this husband and wife, don't you cry. You have this husband and wife. That was the husband's theme. The second theme is the most beautiful thing you're going to hear tonight, but it only happens one time in its complete form, okay? The theme and its development. You only get to hear it once. The hero goes out another day, solves a few problems, rescues a cat, and just, defeats some evil, comes back, all in a day's of work. No effort. At least I have to act like it. And then a new day. Goes on a date with his wife. Lovely stuff. After all that action in the first 3 minutes, the next 3 or 4 minutes is just the most beautiful thing tonight. All right? And after that, there's some playful moments and some floaty in the clouds type moments. And after that, another day, the theme comes back, the hero's theme. But it gets a little lower, a little lower, a little darker. Something's happening. Looks out the window. Why is the townsfolk scurrying around? What's going on here? Aha. Don't you dare invade my town. Here I go. And he fights. And I'm supposed to play faster there. Anyway, big fight. Big fight. He met his match. He met his match. He said, how come I'm not winning this thing? You know, he gets put on the floor and gets captured, and he's still fighting and struggle, and they just surround him. You know, the music will represent that. It's going to get darker and darker, and we stay there for a while. The music's going to make you feel it. And then, as he was about to maybe meet his demise, out of the corner of his eyes, he sees somebody coming in and fighting. It's his wife. He never knew that she's a superhero, that she could even move this fast, which means I have to play even faster. Okay, anyway, we fight, back to back, and that's represented by music. Big, fat chords. The main theme comes back, followed by huge support. Did we win? You betcha. We won. But after the fight, turns around, where's his wife? Don't know. His theme travels, wanders, and then she sees her, and she's like, in modern days, it would be interpreted as she took a bullet for him, okay? They hold hands. She says beautiful things. It's okay. Have no concern about me. And yeah. All right. He goes home. Another day. The same theme comes back. I'm going to play a little slower, a little darker. And then the townsfolk come in and they try to comfort him, but he leaves. Didn't even pack a bag. He just leaves. That's where the movement ends. So don't clap. And I will talk about the second movement while taking a rest, okay? Somebody just died. I know you want to, but hold on. Wait, add it to the end. Double. All right, so part 2, act 2. Many years later, you find him in a remote village, many years. And throughout the missing years, he forgot who he was. The trauma is too big. He, what would they call it? Amnesia, put it back, like in the back of the mind, right? So in this movement, there's only one theme, just one. And it goes something like this. It drops. And now, if you listen to this, you're going to get the sense of in between, because Rachmaninov called this movement the intermezzo. So we have the D, and in between that is, and it goes back to, the majority of the movement ends on the dominant, begins on the dominant, and stays there for a lot of times, okay? And it's in theme and variation, meaning theme variated. So you're going to see an attempt and another to try to discover who he is. He wants to remember, but he couldn't. Also, he forgot what his purpose is. He remembered feeling heroic, and then something happened. And so this movement is very dramatic. You know those movies where it's just a slow burn? Well, this one burns, okay? And it's not always slow. Sometimes movies are just slow without the burn, and I don't, all right? So, and then in maybe like a fantasy in a dream sequence or something, he remembers something, but as he woke up, it's back to just him looking out the window, looking at the beautiful new town, and townsfolk just doing their thing. It's all internal, okay? And in that dream sequence, the hero's theme comes back, but you won't recognize it unless I tell you. It turns into Locrian mode instead of minor. Yeah. And it's a waltz, all right? At least give the man a good dream, right? Wait a minute. I must tell you the third movement, because the two connects. There's no pause anymore. The third movement is he looks out the window and just decides, you know what? Look at that festival going. I'm going to join them. Forget all this struggle. I'm just going to run out there, and boy, it's going to be exciting. All right, celebration. He goes out there, hey. 3 minutes of nonstop action, marches, jigs, dances, and people just having a good time. Previously, I told a different story, but anyway, I'm going to go with the festival theme today because out of the corner of his eye, he sees a girl, and she sees him. A beautiful theme, of course. And then she goes up to him and says, hi. She knows him. She knows him somehow. This is 4 years later in a faraway village, isolated, just people having a good time, and this girl walks straight up to him and says hi. Right? Okay. Here comes the second section of the third movement. How many types of victories can you imagine? Yeah? How about, remember that one date, in the first movement, the beautiful one? Yeah. Rachmaninov never developed that second theme. It was just a statement about what it is. But he develops it 8 different ways, theme and variation this time, and is very playful, okay? Of course, this beautiful theme it turns into something like this. Not this, but this. Something is, because he doesn't remember. Guess who it is? right? In the middle of the variations, he remembers. And that, the second part of the second theme comes back, almost like a quote. You'll recognize it, okay? He remembers it's his dead wife. How'd that happen? After credit scene. Remind me. I often forget to tell you the after credit scene, okay? She comes back. He never lost his ring or whatever. Do people wear rings in Lord of the Rings times? Modern day, okay? Now here's the thing. I want all of you to take this time to reflect on the dark moments, not to relive it, but to honor it, because without that, you wouldn't be who you are today, right? So the third movement is victorious because the second movement exists, and it's very dramatic. Third movement, after 8 variations, it sounds like they've renewed their vows. I think the music, it's very short, but then the festival goes on, and both of them are having a good time. He remembers, he couldn't imagine that he will feel this kind of joy, but coupled with the maturity through the second movement, he really feels unstoppable. And with that, darkness comes again. You'll hear it. But it lasts just maybe 30 seconds. Man, not just him, not just her, but the whole townsfolk just got together and kicked whatever out. And you'll hear the victory. The sun rises twice, actually. Yeah. And we will end. I mean, if you never felt complete victory, I'm going to give you some ideas today. I missed the last note. Wow. Okay. The question is, did you feel it? Yeah. I think this piece is for everyone. It's a rare piece. No wonder everybody loves it. So, the after credit has to do with the wife. How'll she come back? Well, for some of you, she could be resurrected. For others, he dreamed her up, I think. He's nuts. And then there's a third version. We'll talk privately about the third version. Anyway, allow me 5 minutes. So you guys can take that piece, go home and listen to it, and imagine your own story. I bet you it will fit. Yeah, and let it guide you, because with the orchestra, it's going to sound insane. This is without the orchestra. I get to enjoy it every day, and when I do choose to play it, sometimes I don't choose to play and I have a bad day, but if I choose to play it, by the time I get to end, I'm having a good day, because it's a constant reminder of what total victory feels like at the end. He will not let me off. The notes are written. So anyway, what if, though, what if the story I told was not really what I thought? Yeah. Yeah, you know, I was having flashbacks of my own life, how I grew up and everything. I got everything I needed: good grades, good food, good care. Even though I didn't grow up with mom and dad, I know very well why they did what they did, and now, long before now, I fully appreciate it. I went to Juilliard and Manhattan School of Music. Even though it was more challenging than ever before, I graduated with honors and a year early. I taught piano at the age of 14 and had many students. I charged a lot. I was church musician, and I performed in venues in New York. Life was not bad. But the challenge I felt was, I'm not one of them. Because I got in late. And you know those hello pieces that I played for you at the beginning? I was playing at that level right before I started training. And it took 1 year to raise up to, not this level, but enough for Juilliard. But after I got in, everybody is just so insanely talented, and I always felt like an outsider. After I graduate, I left. So that is movement 1. That's the first movement. Adventurous, challenging, outsider. And then movement 2. It was my years in Fort Wayne that I gave up all of that. Students, girlfriend, all that. Opportunity for career, gave all that up to have a peaceful life. Fort Wayne, a lot of you ask me, why am I here? Yeah, I'm going to answer that today. And this is the only time I ever wrote a speech. Where was I? See, this is hard because now I have to look to see where I was. Fort Wayne taught me that there are ways of living that are not competitive. There are values and worldviews that are drastically different than what I had previously learned. I visited farms. I had my first hayride, met many kind and generous people. I built some really strong friendships. I can see one right now, driving 3 hours just to hear me. And right next to him is also a great friend. I can see so many of you. Long story short, I used to be competitive, and in Fort Wayne, I chilled out. But with that came the question of purpose. What can I do with these skills I have, though? I taught kids and adults to play Mozart in their first year. That's not the problem. I performed at local venues, church musicians, so no different. And for 10 years of my life, it was peaceful. It was good, exactly what I wanted. But I stopped practicing. No need. My skills were, in a way, unnecessary here. I mean, honestly, I could just grab your phone number and make a tune right now. 10 variations. And you guys will have fun. Don't need to practice. So for many years, I did concerts, but I'm going to admit, didn't practice for them. Just showed up. Okay? And the thing is, I was really okay with that. I loved it. Then out of boredom, I started playing in my head some arrangements, like the one you heard today. Out of boredom, a friend heard it and asked me to write it down. To that, I said, no, I don't know how to write. Didn't take that class. I was a performing major, not a composition major. He says, yes, but if you don't, who will? So a year later, he chased after me. A year later, I finally put pencil to paper. Yep. And I wrote 10 of those. 10. It took me a long time. Yeah. And I insist to my friend that it was impossible, and I showed him with proof. Here are my 2 hands here, and then there's another 2 hands needed here. How do I do that? To him, he just goes, I don't know, figure it out. But who does that? Who has this insane belief in me that I can even figure it out? Well, he did. For a whole year, he did. And I finally wrote it. Then came COVID. No students, no performances, video games. Yeah, lots of it. And then I thought, why not practice these pieces I have written? I had time. I had to learn it. I started a YouTube channel 3 years ago. It was 300 subscribers. Now it is 6,200 and climbing. This particular piece got 26,000 views. I put it on YouTube, nothing else to do, right? But as I was working on these pieces, the teenager in me came back. As I look out the window to a peaceful surrounding, inside I was boiling up a little bit. So I practiced, and I practiced. 3 years I practiced. This is movement 2. The quest of searching, of purpose, and breaking a few human limitations. Human limitations. Everything's possible, by the way. All right, so now comes the third movement. It's about the future. The victories in my own story hasn't happened yet. Playing this piece allowed me to imagine in many different ways of enjoying victories. I want to be unstoppable. I have more confidence. Confidence is building, and confidence is not a lack of humility, because undoing limitations come from a viewpoint of acknowledging the fact that we all have limits. I have limitations, and I will break them. Victory and success starts internally. For 3 years, it was all inside my mind. This is my last concert for a while, because I'm going to disappear for 2 years, and when all 5 of these Rachmaninov piano and orchestra works are memorized, because Carnegie Hall kind of requires it, I'm going to play there. Carnegie Hall, here I come. About 150,000 notes, and since each note is 5 thoughts minimum, it's about 1 million thoughts. But then, earlier I broke it down. It's not really that big of a deal, right? I'm sorry, I just fought with myself for a bit. Have to stay positive. I'm scared. I will also do smaller concerts across America, but you know, by that I mean 1 concerto at a time for practice. On top of that, due to just 1 video, concert pianists across the world have requested my work. Before I played it, it was rejected unanimously. I showed them the score. Would you want to play this sometime? No. For reasons I'm not going to mention, okay? But after I played it, it was requested. In fact, this just came in 2 days ago, in between my last concert and now. I had a concert Sunday. Invited to Portland, 3,000-seat concert hall. And the guy says, if you come to Portland, I will provide you with my 9-foot Hamburg D Steinway that I will tune for you. To that I ask him, can the ticket sell? He said, rock everything? Yeah. So anyway, that just happened. And a very famous concert pianist is working on it right now, and she already booked 4 concerts in Italy. Not this piece, the easier one. Anyway, on top of that, I'm invited each year to teach at the school that I graduated as a guest lecturer. Why guest? Because my course cannot be official. It's too much. This is movement 3 for me. Many different types of victories. So moving forward, what would I like to do? This whole Carnegie Hall thing, I ask myself over and over again, do I really need it? Sure. But if I'm done, I made a business card. And it says 3 lines. Discover your hidden talents, teaching adults and children at any level. Yeah, any level. There's a rumor out there that says I only teach the best in town and I audition them and all this. No, I don't. I don't know who spread that rumor, but it's going around. And then any venue, doesn't have to be big, including home concerts. Because you guys, I get to talk with you. You know what I do? You know what I'm trained to do in Carnegie Hall? Check this out. Five times. Yeah, here I get to talk to you, here I get to hug friends, here I get to, In Carnegie Hall, I'm expected to impress. Here, I just hope I made a connection. Okay? So, after all the challenges I've been through, I just have one piece of encouragement for each and one of you. The gifts you were given, appreciate them. Give thanks for the privilege of unwrapping them one layer at a time. I'm not done unwrapping, and neither are you. Thank you and good night.